Welcome to SVG-TV News for Thursday, November 4th, 2021. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. 61 new COVID-19 cases were recorded in SVG over a 3-day period. 25 of these positive cases were reported from 109 samples collected on Monday, November 1st, resulting in a positivity rate of 22.9%. 13 new rapid antigen positive results were also reported on Monday from flu clinics. On Tuesday, November 2nd, 13 new positive cases were reported from 120 samples collected, resulting in a positivity rate of 10.8%. 24 new rapid antigen positive results were reported from flu clinics on that day. And on Wednesday, November 3rd, 23 new COVID-19 positive cases were reported from 135 samples collected, resulting in a positivity rate of 17%. 9 new rapid antigen positive results were also reported from flu clinics on that day. There are currently 11 patients admitted for COVID-19 at the Argyle Isolation Facility. 10 are said to be unvaccinated and 1 fully vaccinated. 25 patients have also been admitted to the COVID-19 wards at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital. 22 of these patients are unvaccinated, 2 partially vaccinated, and 1 fully vaccinated. No deaths and no new recoveries were recorded over the reported period. 1,084 cases are currently active and 69 persons with COVID-19 have died. 5,073 cases of COVID-19 and 3,920 recoveries have been recorded in St. Vincent and the Grenadines since March 2020. Frontline workers have about 2 weeks to get vaccinated or find new jobs under the Public Health Amendment Act 2021. Speaking on radio yesterday, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves said that the vaccination numbers are increasing, especially among workers in hospitals and clinics. He gave an update on the most recent figures, noting that the numbers are encouraging.
Just about a week or so ago, I said the number had reached around 59%. But the number is now over 64%. So more and more they're picking up. And you must remember by mid-July, it was in the teens in the hospital services. So we are getting there. I must say, though, that there are some areas, and again, I always drill down. I just say these numbers include those who are nurses and those who are nursing assistants and those who are nursing aides. A week ago, there were 50-something% of the teachers, both at the primary level and the secondary level, who are taking the vaccine. I hadn't seen numbers from the community college, but I wouldn't expect them to be below that number, and they are rising.
In regards to police officers, PM Gonsalves said that while the numbers are also improving, there still seems to be some level of hesitancy.
Assistant commissioners, superintendents, assistant superintendents, the ASPs, or station sergeants or corporals, or for constables to talk to one another as colleagues. Say, listen, we have to take this vaccine. And then completely unrelated issues being raised that here and there in the police force, in the police stations, you may have less than optimal or less than satisfactory accommodation. Well, that's an issue to be addressed, but that is not to be confused with the vaccination program. And I think every police will tell you that we have made tremendous strides over the last 20 years in respect of the physical facilities, great improvement. And I know, and it has been brought to my attention about the less than satisfactory condition in a few places. And I give the assurance that they're being dealt with. The arrangements are being
The Prime Minister said that it is also his hope that more church leaders will come to the understanding of the importance of vaccines in the fight against COVID-19.
Hoping that those church leaders who are not yet persuaded that they should also try and get a copy and read it. I suspect it may come out. The printry may print enough for distribution. Hopefully by the end of this week, and we will, the government printer that is, and that those responsible will put it on the government website or the various websites so that persons can read it. Because this is all part and parcel of the process of education. So that I don't want at the end of the day anybody to be saying, Johnny P., that I didn't do all what I'm supposed to do.
Teachers in this country have been classified as frontline workers, and they too have until November 19 to get vaccinated, which at such time will be a requirement to enter school premises, except those who have been exempted from vaccination in accordance with the Public Health Amendment Act 2021 or the Statutory Rules and Order 2021. Not fully in support of this policy by the government, President of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers Union, Oswald Robinson, said they are ready to put up a serious legal challenge for their members who will not meet the November 19 deadline.
And you can't have people in position making you look bad because it's serious business. That's why we put it up a serious legal challenge when the time comes. We're not backing down on this. We got that from our membership. We went back and they reiterated again. Could you imagine somebody working for 35 years? 35 years. And you arbitrarily, unilaterally, telling them they must be vaccinated or they have to go? This is cruel. It is wicked. You don't have any choice over your body. What you should put in it. The state now is dictating that.
One of the lawyers representing the teachers union in the matter is Zita Banwell, who at Tuesday's news conference explained what the recently gazetted public health or public bodies special measures, rules or measures is all about.
People think that the vaccine and testing are two options. They're not. The rule number 5 actually says that every employee specified in the schedule, and the schedule which includes, well, as you know, the healthcare employees, permanent secretaries, there are actually 12 sets of people or categories of workers listed. And it does say that, so every employee in that particular schedule must be vaccinated against the coronavirus disease 2019. The issue of testing comes as an exemption, and the testing speaks to so if you are given an exemption under this particular SRO, which is not to be vaccinated, and that would be those persons who have a medical exemption.
Banwell elaborated on the consequences that teachers can face according to the SNRO if they refuse to become vaccinated by the November 19th deadline.
I expected to do certain things as of Monday when school opened. Given that this particular SRNO commences November 19th, no you don't, but at the same time, for those who want to make sure by the 19th that they're not subject to the consequences or the penalties for not having a vaccine or having not gained an exemption, the days start rolling as of November 19, which would be that if you are absent from work for 10 days, consecutive 10 days, you're deemed to have abandoned your job under Regulation 31 of the Public Service Regulations. And having done that, it's as you've resigned. So basically, the government is saying, I'm not firing you. The way we're doing this is that if you don't show up to work without any reasonable excuse, and certainly they're not accepting reasonable excuses, oh, I'm not vaccinated, because the SRNO provides that if you don't want to be vaccinated, the state is only providing 2 exemptions, and you have to, based on the SRNO, fit into one of those, or at least have gained permission to be exempted from being vaccinated.
And the Ministry of Health's vaccination caravan will be heading to Stubbs tomorrow, Friday, November 5th. And Health Promotion Officer Shanika John is encouraging persons to use the opportunity to get vaccinated. On the radio yesterday, John said vaccination sites have extended their hours, and teams will be going to specific communities to get persons vaccinated.
There are also a special target now to reach some of these sectors, for example, the education sector. So the schools that are within a particular district, if you're still interested in getting a session, I know police have actually developed a schedule for their officers to have the information once again, because the information has not changed, so that they could be informed in making a decision regarding their vaccination. And so we're definitely going to be ramping up that between this week and next week in terms of 1, our education session, and 2, making the vaccines available and accessible to persons as much as possible. So if you do have a group of persons that are interested in taking the vaccine, you can send us an email at coronavirus.taskforce.svg@gmail.com. You can put in the subject, "Attention, Ms. John," and then you can also detail where you are, what you would like us to facilitate for you, and we will try to accommodate that as soon as possible.
The St. Vincent Electricity Services Limited, VINLEC, has provided support to the people of Cuba to help in the country's fight against COVID-19. A financial donation of $12,000 EC was made by VINLEC following an appeal by the Friends of Cuba. This group includes the Cuba SVG Friendship Society, the St. Vincent and Grenadines Medical Association, and the Association of Cuban Professionals here in SVG. The group launched the appeal in August at a time when Cuba was experiencing challenges on account of the COVID-19 pandemic. At the official handed over event last Thursday, October 28, VINLEC's communications officer Tamara Job-Sprott said that the cash donation is one of the many initiatives being undertaken by VINLEC in commemoration of the company's 60th Diamond anniversary, which will be observed on November 27th. She said through the Diamond Act, VINLEC is providing support to those in need.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines established diplomatic relations with Cuba, and over those many years, Cuba has helped St. Vincent and the Grenadines in national development. In fact, they have assisted us, the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, with infrastructural development in the area of health, in the area of education, and we have benefited greatly as a people. At VINLEC, we have also benefited from Cuba because a number of our employees were trained in Cuba, and we also benefited from the expertise of Cuban people in our company. So when the Cuba Friendship Society reached out to us and asked for us to support them as they embarked on a journey to assist Cuba, the people of Cuba, we at VINLEC were pleased, and we are happy to be able to make in this donation in the amount of $12,000 EC.
The monies from the company will be used to purchase medical supplies for Cuba, which will be used in its fight against COVID-19.
So we are happy that we are able to offer this assistance to a country that has helped us greatly in the past and still continue to offer the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines assistance. So I'm honored to be able to make this donation today and to make a presentation to Mr. Hamilton. This donation is also in keeping with activities to commemorate our 60th anniversary in November of 2021. We have helped in education locally, and so this is another act that we are embarking on as part of our 60th anniversary celebrations.
Coordinator of the Cuba SVG Friendship Society, Bernard Hamilton, accepted a check on behalf of the Friends of Cuba. He thanked VINLEC for its generous support and expressed congratulations to the company on its Diamond anniversary.
Which Cuba still is undergoing some extreme struggles. I mean, as many other countries throughout the world in battling the scourges that are caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. But in addition to that, most of us would know, or most of you would know, that Cuba has been even further challenged by the fact that it has been a country that has been existing under a blockade, a financial and economic blockade, for 60 years. And we thought, as the Friends of Cuba, that it is an opportune moment for us to get together and to extend a hand of friendship, a hand of solidarity with Cuba, because Cuba has been there for us, for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I mean, not just St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but I mean the other our brothers and sisters in the Caribbean and throughout the world.
Hamilton used the opportunity to appeal to other corporate entities as well as individuals to support the cause for Cuba. A new piece of legislation will be brought before Parliament early next year to address some of the issues that consumers are facing with their broadband internet service. This is according to Minister of Finance, Economic Planning and Information Technology, Camilo Gonzalez, on WeFM's Issues at Hand program on Sunday. Minister Gonzalez said it is his hope that the legislation can be pushed through in January or February next year, and that the aim is to give regulators a lot more teeth to deal with the things in which most people complain about in regards to their internet service.
There is a bill that was drafted quite a while ago at the level of ECTEL, which is the regional regulator for telecom, that has not yet made it to Parliament. That bill has been finalized, and I have given a commitment to the Cabinet that very, very early in the new year, we're going to be bringing that legislation to Parliament, which will have a very robust customer service and customer redress type of mechanism there, which will allow people who, for example, are paying for 100 megabits, but when they do their speed test at home, they only get in 25 megabits, that they can get redress for this sort of activity, and that if the downtime of their service is below some certain understood threshold, that they can be compensated or not have to pay their bill in full or what have you in that regard.
Gonzalez said more competitions will drive innovations and improvements in the current broadband space.
And I've said for a long time that internet service, in particular in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, is overpriced and underpowered. And the other word you could add is unreliable. You're talking about when rain falls and you lose service and the like. We had a very extensive and expensive program called CASIP in the region, which put fiber in St. Vincent and connected the Grenadines with internet infrastructure. And I know for a fact that the other player, the other private sector player in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, is on the verge of rolling out formally their own high-speed broadband service, which, because it is premised on the fiber backbone, won't be subject to those sort of weather-related challenges, and will be quite fast.
The government minister said that resolving the internet issues facing customers is a major part of the government's plan for digital transformation, which they are hoping to accomplish in the coming year.
We're pushing in this budget and in the subsequent budget major reforms in how government does business with citizens. And so we want to make it so that a citizen will be able to access their government to do most of the things that people currently line up to do. Will be able to access their government via an app, via their telephone, via their laptop, and do things like pay their taxes, renew their driver's license, renew their passport, register births and deaths, register property, and the like. And those type of activities we think will boost the ease of doing business in the country, and will reduce some of the frustrations that people have when they're trying to interact with the government.
And President of the SVG Teachers Union, Oswald Robinson, said it is time the government steps in and deal with the internet challenges facing teachers and students who are still engaged in online instructions.
Another battle we want to fight, We would have to link up the unions and fight on the internet providers. because I don't know what kind of contract the government have with them, that you could be condoning poor internet accessibility, and this has been going on now for too long. For the whole of last week, the internet was down, and at the end of the month, you're still paying the same amount of money. And parents going through that, teachers going through that, the workers going through that. So if your child is not online, I heard the Ministry of Education officials talking about under the law they could take you to the family court. You see, they always talk about punitive. It has to be developmental. You have to educate people and provide support for them before you could classify somebody as really neglectful.
42 projects, including the construction or repairs of at least 26 homes, are being undertaken by the Arnorsville Covenant Assembly in commemoration of SVG's 42nd anniversary of independence. The Arnorsville Covenant Assembly last Saturday completed work on 3 of 5 homes in Fancy, which were either destroyed or damaged by the eruption of La Soufrière volcano or Hurricane Elsa. Pastor of the Arnorsville Covenant Assembly, Dr. Walford Thompson, handed over the keys to the homeowners in Fancy last Saturday, including a farmer, Thaddeus Bowens, who never left the community of Fancy when the volcano erupted.
I have great honor in presenting you with the key for your front door of the house that was built here today by the Arnorsville Covenant Assembly under the leadership of Mr. Keith Robinson, our carpenter, and all of the others that have journeyed from the church, from Arnorsville, to come here to build this house for you. Here is your key. May God bless you.
They say go match up because the kind of sentence that you come out with. I would humble me. I tell them no, I go in my mission. I don't matter what. I know my God is a good God. He protects me right to the suffering. I'm good.
The Arnorsville Covenant Assembly received approximately $1.5 million to assist people affected by the volcanic eruption. And thus far, a significant amount of the monies have been used up to help people in the orange and red zones get back on their feet.
Wanted to build, to participate in 42 projects in honor of our 42nd anniversary in St. Vincent. And the project in which we are engaged here in Fancy, we're building a house for this gentleman who stayed on in the community in spite of the ash and the sand, etc., to take care, to protect the people's homes from being vandalized, etc., to take care of their animals, and we felt that it is a fitting thing for us to build a house for him. So Mr. Keith Robertson is going to be building this house for him today, and when you come back a few hours later, an hour and a half it will take him, he'll have this house built.
Dr. Jasmine Ellis-Davy is the point person for the projects carried out in Fancy.
Okay, so we were just uploading the materials for Thaddeus Bowens' rebuilding of his home.
The night when I turned the road in and I go by my window there, I see the stuff pushing out a big bar of firelight. When you reach to something, we know we cool and then after the Monday night in my house, I hear the river. I asked God to give me the faith to go through with it because no policeman come for me. I tell them no, I have a mission to end, and I want to end my mission. So that is I experienced in suffering. It didn't break down my house. It's after the hurricane in the house.
We've done a community project, the cleaning up of the beach, etc. And the Arnorsville Covenant Assembly is sponsoring the work here under the leadership of Dr. Ellis here in Fancy.
After 2 years of operation from 2019 to 2021, the Embassy of St. Vincent and the Grenadines in Taiwan was on Monday, November 1st, presented with the 75th Anniversary Golden Merchant Award for the most outstanding foreign embassy by the ROC Chamber of Commerce. According to the ROC Chamber of Commerce, the main purpose of the prize is to encourage and praise foreign embassies and missions that have firmly supported Taiwan by strengthening economic and diplomatic measures. The award ceremony, marked by its pomp and grandeur, was held at the banquet hall of the Howard Plaza Hotel and followed by a gala dinner prior to receipt of the award. A 40-second video capturing the essence of St. Vincent and the Grenadines Embassy in Taiwan was presented, and this was followed by the delivery of Ambassador Bowman's remarks on behalf of her own embassy of the Foreign Embassies and Foreign Missions group of awardees. Ambassador Bowman told the ceremony that the presentation of the prestigious Golden Merchant Award fortifies and validates the work which the SVG Embassy has been doing to enhance the prosperity of SVG and Taiwan. She said the award gives the assurance that their efforts had an impact in the targeted areas for development, and though the efforts are still at an early stage, she is confident about the sustainability of these efforts as youthful Vincentians are invested in the process and are committed to its continuation. St. Vincent and the Grenadines has had 40 years of diplomatic relations with Taiwan.